Okay, when you're ready, give me a countdown for when you want the timer to start. Introduce yourself, introduce your own, and give me a countdown, and we'll start the timer.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am fallentultima, and I will be playing Jurassic Park Part 2. And more specifically, I'm going to be playing on the hard difficulty. I will explain a couple differences about hard and normal runs in a little bit once we get started. Um, but yeah, I guess with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to give a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. So the way this game is laid out is it's a 2D side scroller. It's a run and gun type game. And whenever we're in that main menu, I'm just going to mash through the main menu because the game is laid out where we have 6 main missions we can select in any order we want. But since we don't care which order we want to play them, we just go down the list as fast as we can. Um, a couple of movement mechanics is whenever I land on the very edge of something, for example, these concrete blocks, you might notice I get lurched forward very slightly. It's very subtle, but those are called edge skits, and they save 2 frames every time we do it. And I'm going to be doing that throughout the entire run, so just pay attention to whenever I land on the edge of something. Um, so this game has very little RNG. Pretty much every single spawn is set in stone. You'll get the same spawn every single time. Um, with these raptors, the idea behind getting past these raptor encounters is that you want to jump over them, and they will despawn off to the side of the screen if you get a good jump. What I'm going to do, I have these lethal and non-lethal weapons, and you'll notice at the top of the screen, I have the dino counter, and we are in Jurassic Park, so we don't want to actually kill the dinosaurs. So I'm going to be trying to use these non-lethal weapons so that that dino counter doesn't get down too low, because if it does, then you will hit game over. It shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. You do want to be kind of careful with that. One more mechanic that I can talk about is there is a sprite limit when it comes to your weapons you're using. Depending on what weapon you're using, there can only be a certain amount of bullets on the screen at a time. So we're going to use a little mechanic where if you're right up against an enemy, you can just mash your power weapon, like your shotgun for example, and you can just spam a whole bunch of bullets just all at once. So coming up, I'm going to try to do an AI manipulation so I can get through this next section. If I jump underneath this raptor right here, then I should be able to get onto the ladder, but I failed it. That one's pretty tight. This game is filled with a whole bunch of really tight inputs and tight button presses in order to get some of these tricks. So the beginning of this level, we are tasked with activating that gas switch to kill all these raptors, because apparently there are too many raptors in this facility that we can't take out just by hand. So, and yes, my health is decreasing as time goes on, but we're out of there. Alright, so that's the first mission. So, a little bit of the lore behind this game is that there's this evil corporation called Biosyn, and that's who these mercenaries that I'm fighting right here, those guys are working with Biosyn. So that's why you see me, or that's why you see a bunch of these random guys. And they're trying to take over Jurassic Park, and we can't let that happen. If you've ever played this game before, you may remember these flamethrower guys and how brutal they are. Because this game, it should be noted that this game is actually very challenging. Just as a casual run, it's very tough. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but yeah. Hopefully we can get through these flamethrower guys without taking too much damage. pretty much what we do getting past these flamethrower guys is doing those diagonal shots, which I actually didn't quite do. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful here. So I'm going to kill this guy just to be safe. Alright, we're good. Some of these levels, I'm going to cut it very close with health. One more flamethrower guy, and we're good. Alright, so that guy was just an InGen scientist that we were trying to rescue. Again, we just mashed through the main menu so we can get into the level as fast as possible. And as you can see with those raptor encounters, if I jump at the right time, then the raptors will get a high jump and they will just despawn off to the side of the screen. If you don't jump at the right time, then they might not get a good jump, they might not get a big jump, and they will chase you down. Like I said, this game, there's very little RNG. The only bit of RNG is, well, I'll explain it when it comes up, but as long as you memorize every single spawn, then you should be able to get through them efficiently. Memorizing the spawns is, I would say, probably about 80% of the battle. So anyways, I'm going to try to do some more edge skips, jumping on the very edge of these concrete blocks. I'm trying to get them. That was a good one. Okay, so we're going to meet our friend the T-Rex right here. This is the T-Rex chase. You can't actually kill the T-Rex right here. You can only thwart him off and kind of slow him down just by shooting your power weapons. And if you run out of ammo, then you're kind of screwed. You don't want to use your ammo throughout this level. You want to save it for this part right here, because then the T-Rex will just catch you. But we have enough ammo, so we'll be good. Right here is the escape. Press F to pay respects to our Jeep driver who sacrificed himself so that we could escape. Alright, so this level we have to collect these 5 batteries in order to unlock a door at the very end of this kind of main hub hallway. Whenever people talk about the holy grail of certain speedrun categories, the holy grail of this game would be to find a skip, to skip picking up these batteries. Because at the start of this level, you start in a main hallway, and you have to go through each of these 5 sections. This is the hallway right here. And you have to go through these doors to collect those batteries. But if you could somehow skip collecting all these batteries, or do something with RAM manipulation or something with the game's code, then that would save a ton of time, because right now the door at the end of that hallway is blocked off. Wow, that guy actually hit me. That bazooka doesn't usually hit you. That's okay. So now we're into the third room. You may notice me jumping up these ladders. It looks kind of funny. And if you ever played this game before, then you've probably done that before, where you just jump back and forth, like this, for example. It's the only way to get up these ladders. If you weren't doing that, then you would just be climbing it very, very slowly. Alright. The main idea behind getting past those flamethrower guys is that you want to get off your first shotgun shot just before they appear on the screen. So that way that'll give you enough time to be able to get your second shot out before their flames hit you. Because like I said before, there is a sprite limit with the shotgun. I can only have one burst of shotgun on the screen at a time. So as long as I shoot the first one early enough to where it hits the flamer before the fire gets to me, then I'll be able to get the second shot off in order to kill him quickly. So anyways, that was that locked door that we couldn't get through unless we picked up all those batteries. So yeah, if someone wants to find a skip of some sort, then that would be huge. That would definitely be the biggest time save. This game is filled with a ton of very tiny time saves, but they all add up. There hasn't really been a huge, like, massive skip. There's just small things, small time saves here and there. But speaking of sequence breaks, this next level coming up does have a sequence break. So I'll go ahead and try to explain it a little bit right now. I'm going to be using a fan to clip into the floor, and then from there, I'm going to drop into the void and drop immediately into the final boss room. And once I'm clipped inside the floor, then I am going to have a 2-frame time window to press right on the joystick. And if I get the right frame, then, or if I get one of the 2 frames, then I will be able to drop down. Anyways, I will mention it when it comes up, which is very shortly. That guy shot me, that's okay. And that guy shot me too. Alright, I'm gonna grab this ladder, just so I lose little health. Alright, so we're in the vent section now. So these fans, I'm going to use one of these fans to kind of pull me into the floor. I'm going to kill this guy real quick, just so I can save some health. So I'm going to use this fan to clip myself into the floor. There we go. And now, got it, first try. Now we can just drop immediately down into the final boss room. And again, we're using that mechanic where we stand up directly against an enemy, so we can just spam all of our shotgun ammo. Alright, and that was blockade clip. And now we're on auxiliary power switch. So this level is the one level that actually does have RNG at the very end. Here comes a jump where I can get underneath a grenade. And that jump is really hard. I've never been good at that jump. That's okay. There are a ton of tricks like that where they're very small time saves, and honestly a lot of them are pretty risky. But there are a ton of those throughout the run. Right here I'm going to manipulate this AI. He was going to jump off the platform so I could jump up immediately. So right here, this room is laid out to where we're at the very top of the map, but we're going to take a leap of faith and drop right down. And we're going to do that in the next room as well. We're going to do something similar to that. And yes, in case you didn't notice, but these missions are timed, or at least some of them are. Some of these missions... This is one of the reasons why this game is so difficult, because some of these timed missions, you can cut it really close with the time. Alright, so now we're at this room. I'm going to manipulate the AI to where I can get up the ladder real quick. There we go. Now I'm going to do a damage boost so I can avoid taking fall damage. An interesting thing about getting hit by one of these running soldiers is that if you get hit and you land on your back, then you actually won't take any fall damage. So that's a nice safe strat that you can do right here. Okay, this guy followed me. That was an example of where if a raptor doesn't get a good jump, then he'll just follow you. He didn't despawn off the screen entirely. Okay, so this is the end of the level. This is where that one bit of RNG is. We're going to have 4 switches that we need to shoot. And I'm actually going to take out these raptors because they can cause problems. So, okay, and I got the good combination. So starting with that first one, you then just have to guess which ones you have to shoot in order. So optimally, the 1, 2, 3, 4 combination is the best one to have, but you can have pretty much any combination possible. There are a few exceptions, but you want to get that combination as fast as possible. That is the one bit of RNG in this game. I forgot to mention, but this is a good time to mention it. I am playing on hard mode. Okay, that's a prime example. One difference between hard mode and normal mode is that enemies have increased health, and you can tell by these red dimorphodons. Normally, on normal runs, they only take 1 needle, 1 shot to kill them, but on hard they take 2. So, as you clearly just saw, it's entirely possible that they can just fly through your stream of bullets and hit you down. Another difference between hard is that the main difference is that there's an extra final mission at the very end of the game. And then also enemy projectiles will fly out faster as well, like the Dilophosaurus spit. Yeah, this level can get a little bit messy with these red birds. Man. Alright. We're good now. Okay, we are going to make our way to the top of this radio antenna. Coming up, I'm going to do a damage, I'm going to try to do a damage boost across a rail. So not this rail, but the next rail I jump onto. I'm going to try to get hit by a grenade, and if I do it at the right time, I should just fly across. And I nailed it. That's very nice. That is a very tight timing window as well. Alright, and that is the end of that level. Again, just mashing through the main menus. So these running soldiers, technically their spawns aren't RNG, but they can kind of seem that way. Their spawns are dependent on your movement. So if you deviate from your movement even just slightly, then you might get different spawns. So there's a couple sections where I have to kind of pay attention and react to what their spawns are. And then I'll have to change up my strats depending on what they do. So this guy, I have to jump right here to get over that bullet. Sometimes the guy that shot at me will spawn in front of me, depending on what their spawns were before. Right here too, their spawns can be a little bit different, but we're good. This part gets pretty sketchy, getting through all these flamethrower guys. Alright, now we're gonna kill this guy real quick. And a 104 time is very good for that level. So that level, dropship supplies, it gave us a new weapon that we can use. We call it the Super Bazooka, which unfortunately doesn't get a whole lot of screen time. Pretty much it's just a more powerful version of your gas grenade, which is this weapon right here. But we are going to use it on some of the boss fights. So right here, this room is going to look really scary with all these raptors jumping underneath me. But as long as you don't jump, then they won't actually come up and attack you. This Dilophosaurus right here that is the hardest Dilophosaurus to kill in the entire game. I try to get a jump diagonal shot as I'm flying through the air, and it's very difficult to hit that one. Right here, I'm going to manipulate this AI by, again, not jumping. And as long as I don't jump until the very last second, he'll get stuck behind that volcano, allowing me to get through into the next room. Right here, we're going to use our shotgun spam, so I can get past that Velociraptor real quick. That one is also really tight. So this level, we are infiltrating the raptor nest, which is for some reason inside a volcano. Couldn't explain that. But we are going to blow it up. So now we're just running from the explosion. And again, if you're playing this casually and you were using all of your ammo, then this part would be very, very problematic because you can't actually jump over these raptors. So you would probably get attacked by those raptors and you would die due to the explosion. Alright, next level, we are back in the jungle. We are trying to capture that spy. The idea behind this level is that you want to jump very low because there are going to be a ton of grenadiers placed in very particular spots. Most of them are placed behind these concrete blocks to where if you were to normally jump really high, then the grenades that they're throwing are just going to smack you in the face. So you want to jump very low. I'm going to try to do some more edge skips. This level is very good for those. So you can see how close these grenades get. Grab this health pack. Again, we're just trying to go right through these flamers as fast as possible. Most of the time you're probably going to be taking damage from the flamers, but we don't want to slow down. So right here, I'm just going to have to tank some of the fire, but that's okay because there's a health kit right here. Okay. That section is really hard to get past without getting attacked. Alright. Grab that health as I'm being attacked by the fire. Alright, pretty good. Alright, coming up on the end of the level. Get a few edge skips at the very end too. Alright. Now we are on the level Protect the Gallimimus. So this level is where we're actually going to use our Super Bazooka that we recently obtained. We're going to use it for the boss fight at the end of this level. This level has no flamethrowers. It's just a whole bunch of running soldiers that can really get out of hand, and they can knock you down, and things can just kind of fall apart. Right here, I'm going to do a really grenade. Okay, yeah, that jump is really hard, getting underneath that grenade. I set up an edge skip to where it would pull me forward, so I would have just a tiny bit of time, just enough time to get underneath that grenade. Notice those random landmines. I'll point them out when they come up again, but they can sneak up on you, and it's very reasonable to forget about them and run into them. And that would be really bad. These landmines right here that are just poking up, they deal a lot of damage too, so you really don't want to step on one. Alright, so we're at a cutscene right here. This helicopter in the background is going to be the final boss, or not the final boss of the game, but of this level. We're going to use our Super Bazooka to help destroy it. There was another one where I jumped right underneath the grenade. That one's a lot easier to do, but you can still mess it up. You have to jump at the very last second while you're on that cage, and you have to be jumping for like maybe a frame or two. Any more than that, then the grenade will hit you. So again, all these spawns are predetermined. Right here, I'm going to shoot this mine so I don't jump on it. That way I can efficiently jump over that log. Alright, coming up on the helicopter fight. We're going to pick up some more ammo, destroy the cage with the Super Bazooka, and now destroy the helicopter. And I got the one cycle, nice. And again, we're using that mechanic where if you're right up against an enemy, you can just spam your shotgun as fast as you can. Alright, so that's the 6 main missions done. Now we're on the final few. This mission in particular, we are trying to rescue one of our secret scouts who was injured. And this scout has secret intel for Biosyn. And we are going to be entering the Biosyn headquarters on the next level. Right here we have these double flamers, which if you're in 2 flame streams at the same time, it takes a ton of damage. Right here I'm going to fall straight down to the next section. It's a pretty big fall and you take quite a bit of damage, but we should be fine. You can do a damage boost off that raptor in order to preserve some of your health, but we'll be fine. One little trick you can do with these flamers is that if you stand right inside them, they can't actually hit you with their fire, so that's one little trick we can do. Right here, I'm going to try to do a rock clip. No, I failed it. Similar to the edge skips, if you turn away from the rock, then you will be pushed in to the opposite direction that you're facing, saving just a tiny bit of time. So now we are in the Biosyn headquarters. This is definitely the hardest level in the game. There are a lot of flamethrowers, and the flamethrowers are placed in very particular spots, right on top of these ramps to where it's very difficult to actually hit them. So hopefully we can get through them without taking too much damage. Okay, that guy missed me. Nice. I want to try to preserve as much health as I can, because this level can get very tight on health. Gonna wait for this bazooka. There we go. I'm switching back and forth between my shotgun and my machine gun, depending on which enemy I want to kill. Oh, okay, that was bad. If you're really slow about getting up that ladder, then that guy can come up against you. But that's okay. There are a couple flamethrowers on this level that are like that, where they're just perched on top of a ladder. Alright, so we pretty much have full health. That's the only health kit we're going to get on this level, and we're about halfway through it, so... Right here is another flamethrower just sitting right at the top of a ladder. Right here we're going to try to jump past a flamethrower. Nice. Kill another one just sitting on top of a ramp. Again, these guys are definitely placed intentionally to make it as difficult as possible. So now to save some shotgun ammo, I'm going to be doing a combination of machine gun and shotgun fire to get past these flamethrower guys now, because I'm running low on shotgun ammo. Oh, that guy shot me. That's okay. Alright. So again, SMG and shotgun. And right here, we're just going to pick up some more shotgun ammo, so we'll be good. Right here, we're going to take a really long fall, but interestingly, if you just grab a ladder, then you won't take any fall damage. Right here, we're going to just ignore that guy. Hopefully take as little damage as possible. Then, right here, another one we just jump right past. And we are very good on health. That one is pretty scary if you're slow again. Alright, coming up on the end of the level, we're going to meet our friend Bruce, who we saw before. I'm going to take this kind of safe, actually. Alright. Again, you could just stand up right against him, but he will be shooting you and flamethrowing you all at the same time, so he will take a lot of damage off you. Alright. So, Biosyn has been defeated, and in their last-ditch attempt at taking over Jurassic Park, they're just going to try to destroy it. And they do that by planting these bombs inside this volcano. And we're supposed to be disarming them. Here's a bomb right here. But interestingly, you can just walk past it, and you don't actually have to do anything to it. So yeah, we're just going to do that. All you have to do to beat this level is just get to the end. You don't actually have to disarm anything. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, I almost got hit by that. Alright. Right here, I'm going to delay the spawn of this fire that's going to fall from the sky by walking to the left just barely, and then I can just get underneath it. That's a very tight window to jump through. Oh, I need to destroy that. Oh, okay. That's fine. Alright, so coming up, we have our Triceratops mini boss fights. So again, we're going to try to get as close as we can to it, so we can put in as many shots as we can. As long as we're damaging it, then he won't actually charge. But if you stop, if your damage per second is too low, then he will charge at you. But as long as you're just firing as much as you can into him, then he'll just back off. Alright, so you may remember earlier in the run, we met our friend the T-Rex. Well, now we're going to actually fight him. Once again, using the mechanic where you just get right up against him. He has these spawns, or these predetermined spots that he will stop moving. So as long as you memorize them, you can just unload as much ammo as you can into him. And there we go. That's the T-Rex kill, and you may or may not believe it, but T-Rexes actually explode when they die. Alright, so now we're on the final mission. This is the extra mission that you get on hard mode, this helicopter fight. I only have my standard SMG, so in order for me to fire fast, I have to just mash as fast as I possibly can. And I have to destroy these different components of the helicopter. And time is coming up, by the way. I will give a heads up. Hopefully I can get a 4th cycle. Okay, this might be good. Oh, I just missed it. Okay, and there was a guy alive. Okay. Time is coming up in about 10 seconds. Gotta kill this last guy, and then this machine gun. Alright, time is coming up, and time. Alright, and that is Jurassic Park Part 2. I had a good time. Thank you for having me. Sorry about the delay. I had a bit of technical issues. But yeah, I enjoyed my time. If you're
No
interested,
problem at all.
yeah, if you're interested in playing this game, by the way, I am playing on Switch Virtual Console, but there is a recently released Jurassic Park collection released on next-gen consoles and on Steam, so you can pick that up along with some other classic Jurassic Park titles if you want to play this game, and along with a few others. It would be really cool because this community is really small, and I really enjoy this game. It's one of my all-time favorites. So if this community could grow, that would just make my day. But yeah, that's about it for me. So thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for taking part. Now, that is pretty much it for InstaSpeedathon 2024. Now, I am going to do a little blurb before we finish, so stick around for a little bit so we can go over the future of InstaSpeedathon and where we are headed to next. So, this is everybody in chat, everybody who's watching right now. This is your very last chance to get any last donations in to everyone can to the InstaSpeedathon fundraiser, which we're raising money for everyone can, subject to the terms and conditions on the donation page. I have just posted a link in the donation, in the chat. So if you'd like to go and donate, please go to InstaSpeedathon.wales/donate. Any final donations you'd like to have read out on stream, because this is your very, very last chance to do so now. I will be putting it over to the intermission screen for briefly before we go and do a little outro. But thank you, Fallen Ultima, for the run there. And have you got any last things you'd like to say? Have you said everything you want to say?
I mean, I stream pretty much around this time, so if you want to hop in stream, I'll most likely be playing this game, maybe a few others, but yeah, that's about it.
Wonderful, thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.
Alright, thank you.